Good morning, everyone. I have come onto YouTube this morning after a break of probably, I don't know, 8 years at least, to talk about the new plans that I have for this channel and everything that I'm going to be doing. So, in the last few years, I have trained in psychotherapy, and you probably already know from watching my previous videos that I have some very strong spiritual beliefs. And so it's very much a holistic approach that I am taking. I will also be using the tarot cards and offering readings to anyone who's interested in getting some guidance through clairvoyance. So I would describe this very much as a holistic well-being approach, because I think that really is the only way that's just something that I've learned from my own experience. For me, it needs to be very much more than just a talking therapy situation. And one of the things I sort of notice, and you may have also noticed if you've had talking therapy, is that although it can be really helpful at working out what the problems are and where they've come from, particularly if you're new to therapy and that's not kind of in your conscious mind, and you want to sort of find out why your life is going down a certain path and you're falling into certain patterns, then I think talking therapies can be really useful at finding those things out. But I do think that once you have that knowledge, they can actually be quite re-traumatizing, and that makes very, very much sense to me on a spiritual point, from a spiritual perspective, because when we talk about things and when we think about things, we are bringing them further into our reality. So from a law of attraction perspective, the idea of continuing to talk about things that you find traumatic can not only bring you back into that space in the moment and you end up having an emotional flashback. Some of these emotional flashbacks can go on for months, and there are all kinds of things that go along with those emotional flashbacks, which I can go into detail on in another video. But I do find that talking therapies, once can re-traumatize you, can get you focusing on things that you don't want to be focusing on, and from a law of attraction perspective, you are then inviting those things into your reality and kind of perpetuating the problem. So for me, the thing is to come into the present moment and to actually deal with what we are feeling now, using a combination of coaching techniques and spiritual healing and guidance, along with, like I've said, clairvoyance and certain body healing modalities, which are really, really helpful. There's so many different things that you can do, and I've done quite a few for myself along my own healing journey. Craniosacral therapy I found to be really brilliant. That's a very gentle therapy and body work, which you can go and have. Also, there are trauma release exercises, and there is a book. I can put a link to that book in the comment section below. It's written by just a person who has experience of PTSD and CPTSD, so complex traumatic stress disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. And he has created this series of exercise which actually help to release trauma from the body. Now, it's scientifically proven that we hold trauma within our nervous system. And if we kind of imagine the physiology of that like a coiled spring that we have somewhere in our spinal cord or within our physical body, it's ready, that spring, once it's been activated in the past, it's kind of ready to keep firing off. And that's the thing that creates these sort of perpetual behaviors. So this and, neural pathways which we create in our brains, which take us into these habitual behaviors. And I think, again, that the talking therapy can sometimes work against us in that way, because we get in there, with those behaviors that's a set and just keep repeating them. And so what's really brilliant about body work is it kind of breaks that, and we start to become more embodied. We become more in our body. We are physical beings. The more in our body we become, the more grounded we become, the more awareness we can have in the present moment of everything that's around us. And, you know, if you're on a self-development path, I'm sure you have read books like The Power of Now, and you know very much, certainly, that the modern way of thinking and from a mindfulness perspective is that we want to be focusing on the present moment. And obviously we do, because the present moment is our only reality. So the real focus of this channel, I guess, is to bring together all of the different therapeutic modalities that I have learnt and offer them to you by way of just talks that I'm doing like this, podcasts. Potentially I will have other people on the channel as well who have gone through different things and have found a route to wellness and better mental and emotional health, and physical health, because, you know, they're very much tied in together. One of the things that I will talk about is that on my own fitness and exercise journey, which has been so crucial to my dealing with trauma and healing from trauma. And I can talk a little bit about why I need to be healing from trauma. Although, you know, I don't want to talk too much about the problems, again, going back to what I was just speaking about. But sometimes it can be helpful, particularly if you're going to be, you know, listening to me talk, to have an idea where I've come from and why I might want to be talking about these things. And, you know, actually in my case, it was essential. I had to find healing. It was life and death from several different perspectives. So, you know, I had lots of things going on, some coping mechanisms which I had, which were very unhealthy, which were, you know, life and death situations. And so I didn't really have a choice. It was kind of, you're going to get well, or you're not going to be here anymore. And actually, you know, I am a fighter. I was born in the 1970s, very premature, and, you know, it was thought I was going to die, and I fought to live. And I am very much a determined personality type. And, you know, that has very much helped me. I really see so many things that I have been given as a massive gift to enable me to move forward. And I guess that I really want to share that with other people. And like I said, I have a very varied approach. And so this channel will involve me talking, like I've said, about lots of different healing modalities and therapies that I have done. Me talking about how I can, you know, offer therapeutic services to people that want it. But more than anything, just me sort of talking about what has helped me and what I think might help you. And that is taking into account our entirety. So our physical body, our emotional body, our mental health, our spiritual health, and, you know, our ancestral health, I guess, and why we find ourselves where we do. And I will be using, like I've said, the tarot cards and divination techniques along with these things. And I really hope that you enjoy my videos. And yeah, I mean, it's great to be back. I mean, I suppose if I'm completely honest, and this is just me being really honest, I am someone that needs to feel that what I'm doing has a strong purpose behind it and that I can offer value. So back in sort of 2016, when I was first doing videos, the kind of wellness industry or wellness in general was just emerging into the mainstream. And so I had lots to say that people didn't necessarily already know, and I could sort of discuss things and think, yeah, these are things people might want to know about. But, you know, that was just part of the journey, I suppose, to where I am now. And while I didn't feel that I had a whole lot to contribute, I guess I didn't really want to come on and do videos. But now I'm back in a place where I do feel like I have a lot to contribute. You know, I've done a lot of training. I have obviously continued to be alive and go through lots of things that I feel that I can talk about. I have developed a way of working that I think is particularly helpful. And I feel like I have lots to say. And so this is kind of the perfect time to come back to YouTube. So if you would like to stay subscribed, that would be absolutely amazing. And if you are finding me for the first time today and you think that you might get something from this, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you could just hit the like button. And I will be back over the next, well, I'll probably come back actually today with a reading for this week. If you find yourself watching one of my videos, my tarot videos, then please just trust in the process that that is what you're meant to hear. It might not immediately make sense to you. It might immediately make sense to you. But just trust that if you find that video and you're feeling your inner guidance is telling you to watch that video and keep listening, then go ahead. If you find the video and it doesn't resonate, then don't feel that you need to do that. But I strongly believe that we are where we need to be and that our inner guidance system is constantly guiding us towards learning, growth and ultimate well-being. So thank you so much for watching this video and I look forward to seeing you again. Speak soon. Bye.